You had something good. Maybe it was a relationship. Maybe a friendship. Maybe someone who actually got you. Who texted first. Who remembered the small things. Who made you feel genuinely safe. And then something happened. Not to them. Not to the relationship. To you. You started pulling away. You picked fights that didn't need to happen. You went cold right when they got warm. You pushed and you don't fully understand why. Here's what nobody tells you. This isn't a love problem. It's a nervous system problem. And if you don't catch this pattern, it doesn't just ruin one relationship. It repeats. Again and again. For the rest of your life. There's a psychological term for what you just did. And millions of people do it every single day. And most of them will never figure out why. They'll just keep losing good things. But you're here, which means something in you already suspects the truth. So stay with me. Because what you're about to hear might be the most uncomfortable thing you've ever agreed with. You're not broken. You're not toxic. You're not too much or not enough. There is a psychological reason, a deeply wired, scientifically backed reason, why some people destroy the best things that come into their lives. And later in this video, I'll show you the exact pattern that silently destroys relationships, right when they start to feel safe. And more importantly, how to finally stop it. Welcome to Psychology Explained, where we pull back the curtain on the hidden patterns running your life without your permission. Let's get into it. Picture this. You've been talking to someone for a few weeks. It's easy. It's fun. There's zero pressure. And then one day they say something like, "I really like you. I see this going somewhere." And instead of feeling happy, you feel trapped. Not because they did anything wrong, but because something inside you went quiet and cold and said, "Get out." This is called fear of intimacy. And it's more common than anxiety, more common than depression, and almost completely invisible to the person experiencing it. Here's the psychology behind it. Psychologist John Bowlby spent decades studying how early childhood relationships shape the way we connect as adults. He called this attachment theory. The idea is simple. The way your caregivers responded to your emotional needs as a child literally programs how your brain responds to closeness as an adult. If love as a child felt unpredictable, sometimes warm, sometimes cold, sometimes painful, your brain learned something dangerous. Getting close means getting hurt. So now, when someone gets genuinely close to you as an adult, your brain doesn't feel love. It feels danger. And the terrifying part? You don't even feel afraid. You feel irritated, bored, suffocated, like they're too much. Like maybe this just isn't right. But that's not your heart talking. That's your nervous system running a survival program it wrote when you were 6 years old. You might be making adult relationship decisions based on a child's wound, and you didn't even know it was happening. But fear alone doesn't ruin relationships. Behavior does. And this is where things get destructive. Because fear of intimacy doesn't always look like running away. Sometimes it looks like starting a fight about the dishes. You know the moment. Everything is going well. Too well. You're happy. And then out of nowhere, you're upset about something so small it doesn't even make sense when you say it out loud. But you can't stop. You push. They pull back. And suddenly there's distance again. And somewhere, quietly beneath all that tension, you feel relieved. That relief is the clue. Psychologists call this self-sabotage, but the mechanism running it is something called cognitive dissonance, a theory developed by Leon Festinger in 1957. When your actions don't match your beliefs about yourself, your brain creates unbearable tension. And if your deep belief is, "I don't deserve this kind of love," but here you are, receiving exactly that, your brain experiences that happiness is wrong, like wearing someone else's clothes, so it finds a way to create distance, to get back to what's familiar, to what feels unfortunately like home. Therapist Gay Hendricks gave this a name: the upper limit problem. Every person has an internal ceiling for how much happiness and love they believe they're allowed to have. The moment life exceeds that ceiling, you unconsciously pull it back down, and you do it so naturally, so automatically, that you'll blame them before you ever blame yourself. Now here's the part nobody talks about, because everything we covered so far, the fear, the fights, the pushing away, that's just the surface. Underneath all of it is something even more painful. You don't just fear losing love. You fear that if someone truly sees you, all of you, the messy parts, the broken parts, the parts you hide even from yourself, they will leave anyway. So your brain makes a decision before they get the chance. It destroys the relationship first. Because losing someone on your own terms feels safer than being left on theirs. Psychologists call this protest behavior, and it comes directly from what researcher Mary Ainsworth identified as anxious attachment. Here's how it works in real life. Someone pulls back slightly. Maybe they reply a little slower. Maybe they seem a little distracted. And suddenly your entire nervous system goes into emergency mode. You send 5 messages after one. You bring up old arguments. You test them. You push boundaries just to see if they'll stay. Not because you want to hurt them, but because some part of you is desperately asking, will you leave me like everyone else did? And when they eventually pull back because of the pressure you created, your brain says, see, I knew it. Everyone always leaves. But here's the truth that stings. You didn't predict the ending. You wrote it. And this is the cycle that keeps repeating. Not because you're unlovable, but because your nervous system is stuck in a pattern it learned before you were old enough to question it. You attract warmth. Warmth triggers fear. Fear triggers behavior. Behavior destroys the relationship. And then you grieve something you sabotaged, which makes the belief even stronger that love never lasts for you. Psychologists call this a trauma loop, and it runs in the background of your life like a program you never installed but can't figure out how to delete. So what actually breaks the cycle? Because this video isn't just about understanding the pain, it's about ending it. And the answer isn't just love yourself more or choose better people. Those are bumper sticker solutions for a nervous system problem. The real answer starts with something called neuroplasticity, the brain's proven ability to rewire itself through new repeated experiences. Your brain learned that closeness equals danger, which means it can also learn that closeness equals safety. But it won't happen through thinking alone. It happens through experience. Small, repeated, safe experiences of letting someone in and surviving it. Therapists who specialize in attachment trauma use a technique called earned secure attachment. The idea is beautifully simple. You don't need a perfect childhood to develop a secure attachment style as an adult. You just need enough consistent, safe relationships, friendships, therapy, even your relationship with yourself, where closeness repeatedly feels okay, where you let someone see you when they stay, where you feel the discomfort of intimacy and you don't run. Every single time you do that, your brain updates its prediction. It starts to learn. Maybe getting close isn't always dangerous. Maybe I can survive being loved. But there's one more thing you need to understand before you can truly break this pattern. And this is the piece most psychology videos skip entirely. You have to grieve the version of you that learned to protect yourself this way. Because that part of you, the one that picks fights, that pulls away, that destroys good things, that part wasn't born broken. It was born scared. It learned these behaviors because at some point they kept you safe. They were survival strategies. And they worked once. The problem is you're still using childhood armor in adult relationships. And that armor, the very thing that protected you then, is the thing wounding you now. So before you can change the behavior, you have to stop hating that part of yourself. You have to look at it with something that might feel impossible right now. Compassion. Because here's the final truth of this entire video. You are not someone who ruins good things because you're broken. You are someone who ruins good things because a younger version of you decided, in a moment of real pain, that it was safer to leave before being left. That decision made complete sense then. It just doesn't serve you anymore. And the moment you truly understand that, not just intellectually, but in your body, in your gut, that is the moment the pattern begins to lose its power over you. So here's what I want you to do right now. In the comments below, type the number that describes you. Type 1 if you recognized yourself in the fear of intimacy section. Type 2 if the self-sabotage and picking fights hit close to home. Type 3 if the testing and protest behavior felt painfully familiar. And type 4 if all of it felt like someone was reading your personal diary. There are no wrong answers here. This is a space for people who are done repeating patterns they never chose. And if this video made you feel seen, share it with one person who needs to hear it. You might change someone's life today. If you want to go deeper into the psychology of your own patterns, subscribe, because every single week we go to places most channels are too afraid to go. And if you're wondering what's coming next, we're going to talk about the people who can only feel love when it hurts. The ones who are addicted not to the person, but to the pain itself. The psychology behind why some people chase unavailable partners their entire lives, and the one hidden belief that drives all of it. That video might be even harder to watch than this one, but if you made it to the end of this one, you're exactly the kind of person who's ready for it.